Hello, 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 everybody. It's Eliza Bloom Robinson back with another Voices of a New Humanity episode. I have with me again, we saw Peter earlier, but my guest today is Peter Melton. And Peter is a storyteller, magnificent. He is a climate change expert, and wanted to bring you back, Peter, to talk about really about beingness in this new humanity now, and this new thing, this birth of a new species almost that's happening on the planet, how things are shifting for you and how this beingness is showing up for you. So hi again and welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Would you like to introduce yourself in any further manner before we jump?
Yeah, thank you. I'll introduce myself by saying that first session that we did was just so amazing for me to put words to how this new humanity is moving in me as me. And we didn't even get to what we thought we were going to talk about. So I just, just had to do another one to really bring it in, because that conversation went so big. And that's, I don't know, I'm a storyteller, and I love, the bigger the story, the better for me. How big can I imagine and then make it into something short and understandable? And if you didn't see the first conversation, you might want to go back to that one to get the big picture, the big picture. But now we're
Quick
going to
picture.
dare to feel into. All right, so yes, I am the 14 billion year history of the universe expressing as the flower that I call Peter, and what does that feel like to Peter, right? As he remembers, he's remembering this, all these things that he is, the earth and the sun and the cosmos, all expressing together through the magic of time. And as it's moving through my body, the old me is feeling this new me stepping in, right? And what's moving most is this freedom, this feeling of a freedom to share that I had blocked a lot.
Mhm.
And until I really started, which has just been the last few weeks, it feels like, kind of in correlation with the virus, that there's just feels like a freedom to share, and a listening available. Even more than the freedom to share, there's a listening. And I told somebody, I said, I feel like I've been on a stage and there's been no one in the audience.
Yeah.
It's like I got the wrong start time or something, and I've been up on stage trying, and I'm wanting to share my passion, whatever that is, but there's no one there. But now it's like the doors open and people are coming in and the hall's getting filled up, and it's, the MC said, okay, you're on, right? And it's like, oh
Oh,
shit, right?
yeah.
But there's a listening, right? I think humanity is ready to wake up and hear new ideas. And so it feels to me like there's a more receptive listening available to the ideas that I might have felt were a little zany or out of the box, that I didn't think people would be able to hear. And now I feel like they can hear. And so I'm on.
It feels a little bit to me like this time that we're in with the pandemic is like there's been a wobble in the structures, and those structures included not being able to hear and see. I mean, we know there's lots of people who are pretty far out there thought-wise like we are, but it's been a little bit interesting to find them. But there's also, it feels like in this wobble, there's a peeling away, a dissolution, a dismantling of so much of that stuff that might have been fear-based. And I'm worried more about what I think you might think I might be thinking about what you might be thinking, right? Rather than just sharing authentically in the moment. Like there's a big, wider open space, which is what you're saying, for authenticity, but even more than that, for the beingness of the new becomingness. It's like it doesn't matter anymore. There's no holding back.
Right. It's time. The,
It's time.
it's time. We were born for this time, right? We're the ones we've been waiting for. This is the what we've been waiting for. This is the opening in the time space continuum, right? There's something going on that is making available this opportunity to be ourselves in a whole new way.
And it's
Yeah. And
it sounds, we were saying earlier too, it's like some of the language that we're using, it's like there's hard to put words on some of it because we've been saying things like be yourself and authenticity and all of that for decades, really. But now it's landing different. It's like well, in the first episode we were talking about how your mind and you know became more than your mind and more than your body, became the wholeness of you. But in that, like all this other stuff disappeared.
right. And there's been a read, somebody downloaded 2.0 into my system,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I got a new download and my system is going beep, 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 right? It's like,
right.
what? This is new. I feel like I can share. And we were talking before, I shared with some friends, several friends now, really how I felt about them, right? And really how much they moved my life. And even dared to share with one friend, I think maybe we could try a relationship, right? That dared to put that into the space from a previous place of somewhere that I would never have done that,
Yeah.
right? That it just wasn't safe, that there was a fear that lived in me about I, I'd rather have you like me than me be authentic and risk you not liking me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I got to share this with a wonderful friend who could hear it and receive it, and that I felt safe sharing it, and immediately followed with, oh, but I hope this doesn't wreck the wonderful thing that we had going, because we had a wonderful friendship where we could talk and and right. and
But
and it's
those
already
those fears, those voices, they're like so secondary now. Whereas before they were primary. You had to sort through them and push through them. And now it's just like, that was an interesting thought.
right. I held that. I had the same thing with my mother. I was holding ideas from a scared 5-year old about what my mother was up to, right? And it unfurled the other day when she decided, yes, let's go watch that movie instead of me going to do some other chores that I wanted to do. And what happened in me was this feeling like, oh my God, you're picking me over cleaning the kitchen. And somewhere in the
From your
five
little 5-year old wounded place, first time ever.
first time ever, and I felt it. I felt the unraveling of this story that the 5-year-old me has been in there holding on to,
Yeah.
right? That you picked cleaning over me.
Yeah.
And now you're picking me over cleaning. Oh my God. And that's reshuffling the files all the way up my life, right? And there's this, oh my God, I can share these kind of things. Because I normally wouldn't want to share that with my mother,
Right.
right? She's not going to get it. I'm way too far out there, right? But she gets it. And she could understand. And even though it doesn't make sense to her and it's not the way she would think it through, she could see that it was real in me,
Yeah.
and that me being authentic and being able to say, this is the scared 5-year-old talking. Don't expect this to make sense,
Right.
right?
Right.
This isn't about making sense. This isn't about anything you did wrong. But what she helped me realize was that she was doing this, that not only didn't have time to just be with me, there was a lot of times she had to take care of 6,
Mm.
right? A whole family of 6. So a lot of her time was focused on what's best for the 6 and not what's best for any individual one.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, the 5-year-old me had no idea.
Well, no, because a 5-year old has no capacity to see that. This is so brilliant because it's really the work that I've been doing for the last, handful, well, decade probably, is that unraveling of the subconscious patterns. But what's happening now, I mean, it used to be, especially 10 years ago, it was like we would work really hard to get to that 5-year old and unhook and unravel and do all that. And now it's like instantaneous.
Yeah.
It's like your awareness brings the moment to the present moment. But in that, we talked about this earlier too, the eternal now moment, it's like none of that stuff is true. So when you land there and you go, oh, look at the pattern I had, and then and as you said, shuffles or reshuffles the whole deck, your whole life can change in that moment because that foundation of being that said, mom didn't care because she always, whatever it doesn't even matter what the story was, it's gone, it's dissolved. And so now here you are, once more in this eternal now moment, once more freed, of all the stuff to just be with what
Right.
is real.
And to be authentically me and to start feeling what that feels like, to be able to share with friends and people and anyone, this is what I'm feeling right now, this is the way the magic's moving through me, this is the way the scared 5-year-old is moving through me. I had connections with high school friends where I could share with them to say, uh, oh my God, I've had this feeling, there's been a connection forever with you that I can't explain, and have been afraid to share because I thought it might wreck the connection, but I'm going to share it now because there's no reason to hold it back anymore. Whatever that block was
Yeah.
is gone. Like getting uploaded, we got the 2.0. We've got the new high-speed internet where I can just type in, go to Peter, 5 years old, and let's see what's in there. Right.
Exactly.
And then
Exactly.
here come all these programs, and you're like, oh my God, that's why I eat the way I eat, is because I had these brothers and we had to rush at the hors d'oeuvres. So I've always rushed at the hors d'oeuvres because I was afraid they were going to be gone, but there were always plenty.
Yeah.
But that's not what 5-year-old, 8-year-old, whatever year old me said. You better get to those hors d'oeuvres right away.
Yeah.
Right.
And so in this new upgrade, I've said since this whole virus started, it's like this recalibrate, recharge, reboot, but it's not a you know, it's like going back, but there's this whole, it is birth of a new humanity. It is the birth of Peter 2.0 or, 222.0,
There you go.
right? But it is, and it is such a different operating system. We have access to such a different way of being. Uh, yeah, I mean, I can repeat everything you said. I don't think I need to because you said it so beautifully. But it's like, and this is what's happening right now. So if people are struggling with fear, or they're sick, or their family is dying, or they're in their economic crisis and all of that, what would you say to somebody who's really struggling right now, even as you and I know that this birthing to the new is happening as we speak?
Yeah, great question. It really knocks it right down to the core. So thank you. I have to, and probably should have started the whole conversation from, I am very privileged. I am very grateful and lucky. I'm in a very safe place. I don't have children. I don't have a business I'm fearing for. I don't have a wife. I don't have, all these things that add stressors to people's lives these days. I don't have, for whatever reason. I'm in this position to dare to share what I can see through the fog of the future from my vantage point. And it took a little bit. Those first few weeks were like, ooh, how come I feel good, right? I get on Zoom calls and people say, how you doing? And I'm like, I'm good.
I'm great. Oh, should I
I'm
not
really
be?
good. I kind of, as weird,
Right?
yeah. And this survivor's guilt even has showed up. It's like, why me? Why do I deserve to be having? I'm having the freaking time of my life as a creative, present, alive, flower blossoming human,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, me too.
And yet,
I'm
and yet,
loving
so,
it. Yeah.
so many people are in such a deep struggle. So what do you say? So another thing that really landed good with me was this meme about, we're all not in the same boat. Some people say,
True.
oh, we're all in the same boat here. No,
No, we're
we're
not.
we're experiencing a similar storm, but we're in different parts of the storm, and we're all in very different boats. And I, for whatever reason, was lucky to be on a very safe boat at this moment. This moment doesn't guarantee anything tomorrow, but right now and for the last 3 weeks, I've been in a very safe boat. And so I come from, that's where my experience comes from. And so to dare to try to connect with others who are going through so much more, well, it's right there. I have a brother who's got 4 kids and coming dancing back and forth from college and homeschooling the younger one and business and employees and all these things that the whole world, the game board got flipped up in the air and all the pieces are still flying around in the air.
They
And
are.
we can't know what to do. And so slowing down, the virus has helped us slow down. So we need to take that clue and to whatever degree you can, bring it in, right? And a lot of people aren't used to this, but it's been around forever. Meditation, right? Is
Mhm.
how can we bring it in? How can I slow down and take a breath and then we get to realize we are in uncertain times. And within uncertain times, there's this thing called the now, which is not all that uncertain at all, right? But we've gotten so future focused and so past focused. And I only now realize how future focused I was,
Right.
right? By this fog of the future now, where we can't see a week ahead, is now causing us to be right here today, right? And
I
right here.
call it, I call it the eternal now moment.
Yeah, right. That, no, what did I say? Another thing I said the other day was, the only place you'll find lasting peace is now,
Exactly.
right? But wait, how can you have lasting peace in the now? It's like, well, there you go. We get these paradoxes. We get this new system that's downloading into us. That's breaking the rules, if you will. That the old rules don't apply in the same way. That what I offer to folks who are struggling is, do whatever you can to slow down and bring yourself in. Put your own mask on first, right? And and be with that presence. Do what you can to find. Right now, I'm I I get this breath. I've got, you know, this moment, this, what I'm experiencing, all the feelings I'm experiencing are real, but I'm here and I'm experiencing. And can I just be with that moment? Can I come from that beingness you mentioned earlier? Can I come from that beingness as I move toward what do I do?
Mhm.
Right? And that the best way to do is to be first,
Right.
right? In
Do
order to
we,
get
do we,
going,
do, no, be do,
in
be
order,
do, do we, be do, do we, be.
yeah. And we do all over the place, right?
Yeah.
All those fun little things. But we got to bring it back. Watch for things that take you away from the moment, because I know for me, I guess for you now too, that humor sometimes I'll use to just kind of, whoop, that's getting a little too deep. I gotta hide, right? I gotta get out. Let's make a joke. And then realize, here I come back. So now back to that beingness as I choose what my next doing is. My next doing is, I'm gonna go hold my kid and say I'm scared, right? And be vulnerable and be authentic and be, this is a really interesting time. I'm sorry. I don't get it either. I'm so sorry you don't get to play Little League. I'm so sorry that your graduation's been canceled. I'm so sorry that we have to really conserve now because we have no idea where our money's coming from and where the food's coming from. And it's a new world and we're in this together, and I've never done this either. And please be with me. Help me navigate this. I need you on my side, right? And create that team with whoever you're with, and your resources and your network, and help everyone else slow down and slow down together. Do a group meditation, a group slowing down, and admit your fears, right? And talk about your fears. We also have programmed ourselves not to talk about our fears or griefs or death or any of that stuff. So that makes it all more lively right now, because we're in new territory in that category too.
Right. Lots of new. And I think just adding one more thing is slow down enough to, look at a tree or look at the sky or look at the flower
Yeah.
and just,
And and perhaps in doing that, you will connect to that grander you, right? That you are a solar expression. You are the sun blending with the earth, creating this dirt and this life and these trees and these plants and this humanity and this generations that have led to you. And everything in the last 14 billion years had to happen just the way they happened, or you wouldn't be here,
just
right? If
moment.
the asteroid doesn't wipe out the dinosaurs, we're not here,
Yeah.
right? That that the magic of who you really are, if you can dare to feel in to that story of you, the 14 billion year, everything had to happen like it did for you to be you today. Rest in that for a moment, and then come out into your house and talk to your kids.
Exactly. Exactly. And this moment is exactly the perfect moment for that which is our next evolution of becoming us. We'll look back in 100 years or 10 years or a year and go, wow, that moment in time, though very difficult for some, was the exact thing that put it
Right.
in new humanity now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
It's
Thank you, Peter. Thank you for being with us. We'll
such a pleasure. Such a pleasure.
Yeah, we'll post Peter's contact information with the link, and we would really, really love to know how this conversation is moving you. So please post your comments and we'll respond to each and every one of them.
Yeah.
To Bloom with Peter Melton, so happy to be with you today.